All right, class. Today, even though it's Thursday, starts a new week in our curriculum. It is still Unit 8, but it is week 2. And week 2 is all about what do you know about our country. So we're still going to be talking a little bit about travel and things like that. But our story for this week, our big book, is going to be Anna Goes to Washington, D.C. So before we begin reading, we're going to talk about a little bit of vocabulary. The first word this week is going to be country. So country is an area of land and people that is ruled by a government. So we live in the United States of America. That is our country. That's the country that you live in. But think about what country would you like to visit? So a different country other than where we live. What other country would you want to visit and why? Ooh, take a minute and think about that. I'm going to share my answer. So I would love to visit France. I would love to go to France and maybe visit all of the beautiful museums they have there in Paris. I love looking at artwork, especially a really old artwork. It's really cool. So I would definitely enjoy probably France or somewhere a little more tropical, maybe somewhere in South America, maybe like Chile or Brazil. That would be fun too. All right, and then the next vocabulary word for today is going to be travel, which is to move from one place to another. So when we travel, we move from one place to another. So where would be a place that you would like to travel to? And you could travel somewhere in our country, somewhere out of our country. But I'm thinking that since I just talked about what country I would want to visit, maybe I'm going to pick somewhere that I would want to travel inside of our country. And I've always wanted to go to California and see the Redwood Forest. So I think that's where I would probably travel to if I got the chance to do that right now. And I know we can't do a lot of traveling, but hopefully soon, hopefully this summer, we get to do some traveling. All right, so let's go ahead and read Anna Goes to Washington, D.C. Remember, our essential question for this week is, what do you know about our country? And when we read the book, Anna Goes to Washington, D.C., we're going to be thinking about what symbols of the USA do you know about? So what symbols, like what big places, maybe this symbol, what symbols do you know that represent the United States of America? And remember, before we begin, this is our front cover, this is our spine, this is our back cover. The author of the story is Renee Collado Lainez. So what does Renee do? If she is the author, what does the author of a story do? The author writes the words, and it's illustrated by Angela Dominguez. So if Angela is the illustrator, what does the illustrator do? The illustrator draws the pictures. Sorry. And just looking at the front of this book, we can look and see and make a prediction if this is going to be a fictional text or if it's going to be informational. So I know we have a little bit of a mix. So it's going to kind of be it's going to kind of be like a guessing game, right? Because we see in the background, we see this looks like a real life building. You could go to Washington, D.C. and see this building. This building is any guesses? It's a big house and it's white. So this is the White House. If you went and traveled to Washington, D.C., you would actually see this house just like it looks right here. But if you look at these people, that's not how me and you look like in real life. So I think it's going to be a toss-up. We're going to have to find out. All right? If it's fictional or informational. So Anna Goes to Washington, D.C. Oh, wow. I love this already. We are in Washington, D.C. It is the capital of the United States, said Anna to Mama and her little sister, Sarah. Anna ran and hugged her tia Louisa and said, I cannot wait to visit the historic places. Ooh, so these historic places might be have symbols of things that represent the United States of America. Ooh, I love this map. The next morning, Anna and Sarah were holding a large map. Look, Sarah, we will visit all these places. So it says Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House, New York Avenue, the Supreme Court, Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, the Capitol, the Library of Congress, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. We talked about him a few months ago. Tia Louisa and Mama waved American flags. They gave flags to Anna and Sarah. Anna opened the front door and said, "Ready, set, let's go." So look at the flags. This is the National Mall, Tia Louisa said. I don't see any stores, Sarah said. There are no stores here, Tia Louisa replied. Sarah turned around and said, I get it. Instead of stores, this mall has historic buildings. So this is the mall, the National Mall, and instead of stores lining the mall, it's historic buildings. What is this tall building? Asked Anna. It looks like a giant number 1, Sarah said. This is the Washington Monument, Tia Louisa said. It was built to honor the first president or leader of the United States, George Washington. So who was the first president of the United States? It's George Washington. This monument is in honor of George Washington, the first president. Mama opened her purse. Look, his face is on the dollar bill and the quarter, Anna cried. So look, you can see at home if you guys have any quarters or dollar bills in those piggy banks, take them out. And you can see his face is on both the quarter and the dollar bill. He's got a lot of things in his honor. Ooh, I love this one. Who's the tall man sitting on that big chair? Anna asked. He is Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president. He ended slavery and helped keep the United States together, Tia Louisa said. He is also on the pennies that Sarah and I put inside our piggy banks, Anna said. So this is the Lincoln Memorial. And what president was he? He wasn't the first. What number was that? Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president, and he is on what coin? That's the penny. Who lives in this beautiful house? Anna asked. The President of the United States lives in the White House, Tia Louisa said. Can we knock and say hello? Anna and Sarah asked. The President is a busy person, Tia Louisa said, but I have tickets to get inside. Yes, said everyone. Can you imagine somebody having tickets to come inside your house? Wow. This building is bigger than my whole school, Anna said. It is the Capitol building. They make all the laws here, Tia Louisa said. Are laws like school rules? Anna asked. Tia Louisa and Mama nodded. We need to follow rules or we will all get in trouble, Anna said to Sarah. So that's the Capitol building where they make the laws or the rules for the whole country. Look, there are also statues sitting on chairs here, Anna pointed at them. This is the Supreme Court, Tia Louisa said. When people do not agree, the Supreme Court decides what is fair. The Supreme Court is like a teacher. Teachers talk to children when they argue, Anna said. So remember, sometimes we get into little tiffs with maybe another classmate, maybe during free center time, and you guys come to me, Miss Snuddles, and I help you guys work it out. Well, that's what the Supreme Court does, all right? These big, big buildings. Welcome to the Library of Congress, Tia Louisa said. There are so many beautiful books here, said Anna. I love to read books to Sarah. Almost all of the books published in the United States are here, Tia Louisa said. I would love to read them all one day, Anna said. Tia Louisa and Mama smiled. So almost all the books published in the United States are kept in this library, the Library of Congress. They went back to the National Mall and walked across Independence Avenue. Look, I know the man in that statue, Anna said. He is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he had a dream for everyone to be treated fairly. This is his memorial, Tia Louisa said. I will work for my dreams too, Anna said. So we talked about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in January. Anna and her family walked among the flowering cherry trees. "Look at the beautiful cherry blossoms," Anna said. "These trees are a gift from Japan to celebrate the friendship between our two countries," Tia Louisa said. They sat down and watched the paddle boats go by. Anna hugged Tia Louisa and said, "Thank you for this wonderful day. I will never forget it." All right, so in the book, we saw so many different symbols of the United States of America. So you can look on the back of our book. Let's see right here. This big building. This was the this was the Capitol building where they make all the laws, remember? And then this right here is the monument for who? Which man was this one? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who had the dream for all of us to get along. And then another symbol could be what Sarah and Anna are holding in their hands. What was this? The flag. That's what we look at when we say the Pledge of Allegiance. So I want you guys to think about this and rewatch this video tomorrow, because you're going to need to, in the PowerPoint, pick out the main idea of the story and then 3 key details, okay? I'm not going to give it away, but when you see that slide in your PowerPoint, come back and watch this video, and that way you can get the main idea, which is the big picture, and then 3 small details. Alrighty, bye.